Hey there, Red Devils fans! We've got some thrilling updates for you. Please subscribe and turn on notification for daily Manchester United news updates. Manchester United bring in stadium designers as Sir Jim Ratcliffe ponders new Old Trafford. Sir Jim Ratcliffe believes Manchester United have the opportunity to build a state-of-the-art stadium that could house up to 100,000 supporters. The designers responsible for Tottenham Hotspur's new stadium have reportedly drawn up plans for Manchester United as new co-owner. Sir Jim Ratcliffe considers the future of Old Trafford. Ratcliffe wants to revamp United's stadium, and designers have reportedly drawn up plans already, which are now being examined. Speaking on the Geraint Thomas Cycling Club podcast earlier this month, the INEOS chief hinted at plans to increase capacity to 100,000. He said, "You have got this opportunity if you choose to build a completely new ground, because we have got enough space. If you built a completely new ground, it would absolutely be state-of-the-art, world-class, 90,000 or maybe even 100,000, that then provides a platform for some of the big competitions in the north of England. Why do England always play in the south? Why is the FA Cup final always in the south? Why can't the Champions League final be in the north occasionally? Football in the north is just as important as it is in the south, arguably more so, and the people in the north pay their taxes, so why do we have Wembley, Twickenham, Wimbledon, etc. in the south? What have we got in the north? There's a strong argument to build a Wembley of the north, and now, according to a report from the Daily Mail, stadium designers Populous have already come up with proposals to renovate or rebuild Old Trafford. The company, according to the report, have been brought in by the Glazers, and the plans they came up with are now being scrutinized by Ratcliffe's INEOS people. A task force was set up earlier this month to explore the club's options, with former United captain Gary Neville, Lord Sebastian Coe, and the mayor of Greater Manchester, Andy Burnham, all involved. And Neville has admitted the commercial aspect will ultimately be the deciding factor for Ratcliffe. Speaking to Sky Sports, the former England international said, "I think everyone knows that it's one of two options. Either renovate and refurbish the existing Old Trafford or develop a brand new stadium next to Old Trafford. Every structural solution is different. Until you get into the meat of the work and see what is really brought forward, then I don't think anyone has the answer. That's the reason that the group has been set up, to help answer some of those questions. The work that goes on and the findings of the work that goes down will help form a decision, but it will also come down to the commercial aspect of what will be afforded. We know that a new stadium, well, a refurbishment costs a lot of money, but a brand new stadium costs more. Meanwhile, Manchester United make £21.4 million offer for Barcelona starlet as Laporta lines up transfer sacrifice. Manchester United made a bid for Barcelona youngster Mikayil Faye as they battle Bayer Leverkusen for his signature, according to reports. The Red Devils face a summer of change after Sir Jim Ratcliffe completed a deal to buy 27.7% of the Premier League club from the Glazers. Ratcliffe has already brought in Omar Barada as the new CEO from arch rivals, and Dan Ashworth looks likely to arrive as sporting director from Newcastle if the two clubs can agree a compensation fee. There are a surprising lack of players who have turned out for both Barcelona and Manchester United, despite the incredible history surrounding both clubs. Mark Hughes, Laurent Blanc, Jordi Cruyff, Henrik Larsson, Gerard Pique, Victor Valdés, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Alexis Sanchez, and Memphis have all turned out for both clubs, but that is where the list ends. Moves directly between the two clubs have been incredibly rare, but United may now be interested in a summer raid on the Catalan giants. The Daily Mail report that United are watching Mikayil Faye with a summer move for the Barcelona B talent now in mind. United scouted Faye in action for Senegal against Gabon on Friday and have been on his tail for 3 months now. Bayer Leverkusen and Inter Milan are also interested, so United will face competition. But let's dig into Faye's career to date and explain why he is so highly rated. Faye hails from Sédhiou in Senegal, just like Sadio Mane. In fact, there is now a stadium named after Mane in Sédhiou, summing up his hero status. Marseille, Stade de Reims, and Dinamo Zagreb all had a look at Fe, but it was another Croatian side who took a chance on him. NK Custosia pounced to land Fe in 2022, and he recorded 14 first-team appearances in the 2022-23 season. Barcelona liked what they saw and coughed up $4.3 million to bring Fe to Catalunya, placing him in their B team. The 19-year-old has been a regular for the Barcelona B team with 3 goals in 24 games, but he has yet to land a first-team debut. Fe earned his first Senegal cap on Friday and actually scored, helping Senegal beat Gabon 3-0. I had the opportunity to get to know him a lot in the preseason and to see him a little recently as well. I think he has a lot of talent. He is very, very explosive, very dynamic, very aggressive, very good with the ball. He has a good left foot. He recently arrived in a new country with a new language, and I think he is doing very well. I have heard him speak a little Spanish already. I see someone who wants to work, and I think he has a bright future ahead. Barcelona teammate Jules Koundé. We can understand the interest in Fe as competition for Lisandro Martinez. Barcelona won't want to lose Fe, especially just a year after signing him. But they ultimately need to sell players. That could play right into United's hands with a summer move for Fe becoming increasingly appealing, even with a lack of La Liga experience, again and again. Man United could be barred from playing in Europe next season, as UEFA refused to change ownership rules in a massive blow to part owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Sir Jim Ratcliffe's position as head of football operations at Manchester United could have severe consequences should the club qualify for European football next season. After months of speculation, the 71-year-old billionaire's takeover of the club was finally announced via club statement in December. Ratcliffe and his INEOS group paid more than $1 billion for a 27.7% stake in the club, which will rise to close to 30% following a further $238 million injection. Despite not being the majority owner, since the deal was completed in February, Ratcliffe has taken over footballing operations at United alongside his INEOS colleagues Jean-Claude Blanc and Sir David Brailsford. The INEOS group also owns Nice, with the French side currently 5th in Ligue 1 and on course to secure European football. This is where Ratcliffe's ownership of United could prove problematic for the Premier League club. UEFA regulations have stated that while multiple teams under the same ownership umbrella can play in Europe going forward, a ban on said teams playing in the same competition remains in place. A source from the organization confirmed the news to The Sun. It is correct that Manchester United and Nice cannot play in the same competition. They could play in different competitions as there is no feeding between competitions anymore. As it stands, Erik ten Hag's team are 6 points behind Tottenham and 9 behind Aston Villa in the race for European qualification. However, the FA Cup remains a viable entry into European competitions for the club, as even if Manchester City retain their crown, the additional league space given a European berth would go to their rivals. This normally wouldn't be an issue. However, should that happen while Nice secure a Europa League spot, through a 5th-placed finish, they would take precedence over United, forcing the Premier League club to drop into the Conference League. However, if United managed to triumph in the FA Cup this season, they would take precedence, and Francesco Farioli's side would instead be placed in the Conference League. While UEFA regulations will allow teams under the same ownership banner to play in Europe simultaneously, they cannot do so in the same competition. Likewise, if both teams manage to qualify for the Champions League this season, the place will be allocated to the team who finish higher in their respective league. If both teams finish in the same position domestically, United would still take precedence based on England's spot at the top of UEFA's coefficient. Most dramatically for United fans, there remains a scenario in which both United and Nice qualify for the Conference League through their domestic cups, but Nice maintain a higher league position. Should this prove to be the case, the French side would be given the spot with United left without any European football.